Have you ever felt that despite being constantly present with those around you, you still sense that they don't truly care about you? You give your time, affection, and care, yet some people make you feel like a mere shadow in their lives. Coldness, indifference, or even subtle emotional manipulation can leave us wondering, do they care about me? In these moments, feelings of hurt and disappointment can easily overwhelm our hearts. However, Stoicism, a philosophy of self-mastery and peace, offers a different perspective. It doesn't tell us to avoid these negative behaviors, but rather helps us identify them and understand unhealthy relationships. More importantly, Stoicism teaches that our inner peace isn't dependent on others. It comes from mastering our emotions and minds. While we cannot avoid people who don't truly care for us, we can choose how we respond to them, calmly, rationally, and without letting their behavior disturb our inner peace. In this video, we'll explore 4 behaviors of people who don't care about you and discuss how Stoicism can help maintain inner freedom despite the challenges we face. Ultimately, not everyone deserves your affection or attention, but you can keep your heart strong and no longer allow their emotionless behaviors to hurt you. Let's begin this journey with courage and wisdom so that you can walk the path of peace, no matter how thorny life may seem. 1. Manipulating your emotions for control. In the complex web of human relationships, an undeniable truth emerges. People who don't truly care about you are often skilled at controlling and manipulating your emotions. They use subtle tactics to make you feel guilty, anxious, or even lose yourself to gain their approval. But can we recognize these behaviors? More importantly, can we stand firm against them without letting them cloud our judgment? Stoicism has long encouraged individuals to develop emotional control, so we're not dependent on the ever-changing external world. Philosophers like Epictetus and Seneca emphasized that our happiness isn't determined by others' behavior, but by how we respond to it. They not only taught us emotional mastery, but also helped us see that those who manipulate others' emotions are revealing their weaknesses and insecurities. Instead of letting them control our moods, Stoicism teaches us that we have the right to choose our reactions and maintain inner peace. When faced with manipulation, it's important to remember that we are the ones who ultimately decide whether or not our emotions are affected. A powerful lesson from Stoicism is emotional self-control. Epictetus said, "We are disturbed not by what happens to us, but by our thoughts about what happens." This means that while others may try to manipulate our emotions, we choose whether or not to allow them to influence us. Stoicism helps us recognize and respond to emotional manipulation while staying grounded in any situation. When we realize that our emotions can only be influenced if we allow them to, we no longer fall into the traps of emotional games. Even the teachings of Jesus Christ align with this wisdom. He taught that we shouldn't respond to evil with evil, but always maintain love and forgiveness. In Matthew 5:44 it says, "But I say to you, love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you." This reminds us that even when others manipulate our emotions, we don't need to retaliate or allow them to disturb our peace. Instead, we should approach them with compassion and forgiveness, without letting hatred take hold of our hearts. Compassion and forgiveness don't mean we must accept or endure manipulation. Both Stoicism and Jesus' teachings emphasize maintaining dignity and protecting ourselves. They suggest that if someone doesn't respect you, it's your right to set boundaries and protect yourself. During moments of manipulation, you always have the right to react in a way that feels right to you. A classic example of a Stoic emperor, Marcus Aurelius, illustrates calmness in the face of emotional manipulation. Throughout wars and conflicts, he never allowed anger or guilt to control his decisions. As he said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." This quote reminds us that in any situation, we have control over how we think and feel. 2. Downplaying your struggles. Have you ever faced a major challenge in life, only for those around you to dismiss it? They might criticize you for not being tougher, or simply brush it off as if your difficulties don't matter. This behavior, while perhaps stemming from ignorance, profoundly impacts you, leaving you feeling lonely and disrespected. According to Stoicism, dismissing others' struggles isn't just a failure of empathy, it reflects a lack of understanding of life and humanity. Those who downplay your hardships are unable to truly perceive the challenges you're facing, betraying the fundamental values of mutual respect and character. Stoic philosophers like Epictetus, Seneca, and Marcus Aurelius emphasize that while we shouldn't overly worry about things beyond our control, we must also recognize that downplaying the struggles of others reflects a lack of empathy. Stoicism teaches that every challenge, whether big or small, deserves understanding and support. When we fail to understand the struggles of others, we not only lessen their burdens, but also fail to build stronger relationships and communities. Epictetus said, "It's not the things themselves that disturb us, but our opinions about them." If someone downplays your struggles, they don't understand that every challenge you face involves a journey, a relentless effort. They are stripping away the recognition you deserve. Imagine being an artist working hard on a masterpiece, only for someone to dismiss your work. To the artist, every stroke represents a battle to perfect the piece, yet to others, it might seem unimportant. Stoic philosophy teaches us to see things from another's perspective. Difficulty may not appear significant to some, but to the person facing it, it holds value. Jesus Christ's life is an example of sharing in the struggles of humanity. He bore his pain and empathized with the weaknesses of others. His teachings remind us that every burden, no matter how small it may seem to us, deserves understanding. Jesus said, "Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest." This shows us that empathy for others' struggles is a path to understanding, connection, and peace. Putting themselves first. Have you ever wondered why some people only care about their own benefits and satisfaction without considering others' feelings or suffering? This self-centered behavior, where individuals place themselves at the center of the universe, is a clear sign of emotional selfishness. In relationships, this selfishness harms others and leads to a life devoid of true fulfillment. Stoicism teaches that the pursuit of selfish goals and personal comfort does not lead to happiness. Philosophers like Epictetus and Marcus Aurelius believed that true peace comes from living responsibly and contributing to the community. As Epictetus said, "It is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This reminds us that in situations where others focus only on themselves, we can choose not to let their actions affect us. Instead, we must remain calm and self-aware. In today's world, this behavior is common in leaders or competitive work environments, where individuals prioritize their own careers over the welfare of others. A study from Harvard Business School found that leaders lacking emotional awareness often fail to foster collaborative work environments. These individuals focus solely on advancing their own positions, neglecting the importance of cooperation. Stoicism teaches that true happiness comes from serving and caring for others, not from selfishness. When people only care about themselves, they'll eventually feel emptiness and loneliness. A prominent example of selfish behavior is Elizabeth Holmes, the founder of Theranos, who prioritized her own career and image over the welfare of others, even at the expense of investors and employees. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." In selfishness, people lose sight of the joy that comes from sharing and helping others. Whether in relationships or professional settings, selfishness can lead to isolation and emptiness.